15 participants already. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Our tradition in the beginning of the webinar is to just share where you're coming from, share your location. Is it sunny outside? Is it cloudy outside? Is it warm, cold? Let us know where you're coming from. There's a chat feature to do that. And I am going to share my screen in just a moment so we can look at the presentation and get started. Seeing some familiar names, some people that I've spoken to this week. Welcome. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I am joined by Sharon. She's one of our amazing home coaches. We will introduce ourselves and we'll get into all of that in just a moment. Give everyone a few minutes to hop on. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining when it's totally a different, we try to make it a time that works, but with the multitudes of time zones in the US and Canada and then elsewhere, 12 p.m. usually ends up being it. Michelle, you're from Ontario. Thanks. Awesome. Lovely. So our Unite team is all in Toronto, unless they're vacationing somewhere and working from home. So I'm in Denver, Sharon's in Denver. Some of our other home coaches are elsewhere in the country, but everyone, we had to get used to the whole Fahrenheit versus Celsius thing. We will do introductions. We'll discuss the home program in greater detail, the Safe and Sound protocol, as well as the focus. And then Sharon and I will discuss the use of the programs at home, in addition to how remote home coaching might work for you or your family. And then finally, we'll have the Q&A session at the end. So, getting started. That's me from a few years ago. I've been working with ILS and transforming lives on a daily basis since 2017. I have a big passion for health and wellness. I was a fitness instructor for about 3.5 years on the side, in addition to working with ILS until COVID hit, and I am taking a hiatus from it now, but it really brought the movement piece and my passion for fitness and wellness into my life in a big way. I also have trauma-informed sensitivity training and experience because I worked in victim services with the University of Florida and US Police Department, which is where I went to school and where I was before I came to Colorado. It does mean the world to me that there are therapies like SSP, Focus, other ILS, and Unite tools out there. I'm lucky enough to interact with you all and other families who can benefit from these programs on a daily basis. So it's very motivating to me. I know that our programs bring increased quality of life to all sorts of individuals, and that really brings joy to my team and keeps everybody going. So I put this webinar together for you guys to get you the information about our programs faster and more effectively, just like our brains make programs stronger and more effective. So I would like to introduce you to Sharon. She's one of our amazing home coaches. Sharon, if you'll give the people a little intro on you and how you got started with ILS, that would be lovely.
Sure, Alyssa, thank you so much. I actually have a master's in counseling degree that I got many years ago, and actually began my work in social work as far as working with kids and families in the adoption and foster care world. And I did that for 18 years and then had my own kids. I have two daughters, 16 and 19, and realized that my oldest was going through her own struggles, and decided at that point to take a break from doing counseling and social work in that field and try and work with her to find some alternative methods that would help her with the anxiety that she was facing at a very young age. And so in doing so, I found ILS and began working with them actually as a role similar to yours, Alyssa, in 2011, and was blown away by the calls that I would get from families and clinicians that saw such nice changes. And I'm like, I want to do this. So like 2013, 2014, I actually started being able to kind of do this with families and have been blessed to be able to do it since then. And I love it. I love being able to see those changes being made. So
Awesome. Thank you, Sharon.
yeah.
So this is the most frequently asked question that I hear when speaking with families on a daily basis. So we wanted to address it right away. I know you have this question in mind and you'll be thinking about your own, your personal application of the programs, how they might work for you, etc. But the symptoms, the acronyms and diagnoses that you see on the screen here are a good chunk of, but some of the things that are really attended to and that we see improvements with when people use the programs from home. In addition, we have thousands of individuals globally who've seen improvements with the programs, but we also have research to support this, and I'd like to go over one of those larger studies right now. So one larger research study that has been done was completed by the Spiral Foundation, the Sensory Processing Institute for Research and Learning. So it focused on use of the FOCUS program specifically with over 1,300 children, all of whom had ASD, autism spectrum disorder, and or SPD, sensory processing disorder. So the results were really amazing. You'll see the percentages on this graph here in the areas in which these kids improved. So most importantly, we saw 90% of these kids greatly improve in sensory processing, motor coordination, and emotional and or self-regulation. So that's the 87%, that second bar across the screen. I do want to take a moment to say that sensory processing stems from brain function, as does motor coordination. So what most people don't know is that the brain and the body must be organized. The body must be organized before the brain can be organized because they work together as a team. So the body and motor function is organized first in an individual, and then we see great improvements in brain function, the sensory processing and the emotional regulation pieces. And this looks like better body awareness and balance, increased athleticism and muscle tone, which then supports fine motor skills like writing and drawing, etc. This turns into less reactivity, less tantrums, greater ability to think and process things rationally instead of becoming so easily overwhelmed. So then we see confidence and capability and just happier individuals, happier kids. A great example of these results is seen with Sarah. So this video is going to show you a direct before and after for her. There's only about 2.5 to 3 months in between here. So she completed one FOCUS program between the before and the after.
Do jumping jacks.
Our company exists for individuals like Sarah. We know that our products mean increased quality of life for kids like her and for her family members and her community. So our mission is to get our programs to all those who can benefit from them. We believe that when we do this, there will be a positive ripple effect, and we've already seen it with so many individuals. When we improve the brain function of one person, this effect occurs, and that's where the magic happens. So that individual's family and community is also positively affected. So if we can benefit one person, we can change the world. ILS has been around for over a decade, but our products were built upon a foundation and wealth of knowledge from our co-founder's career in psychiatry and therapy. Our clinical director and co-founder, Dr. Ron Minson, who you see here, transitioned from traditional psychiatry to diving headfirst into the world of auditory-based therapies. He did this in the early 90s when his own daughter began suffering from dyslexia. She was struggling in school, she had severe depression, and Dr. Minson created the focus as a father who wanted his daughter to just live a happier life. And you'll see one of his quotes on the focus system here. It is absolutely about being happier, about finding confidence, and about then being an individual who can really attend to the stressors of life appropriately, all of those things going together. In addition to Dr. Minson, the faces you see here are some of the leading scientists and medical practitioners in the therapeutic community dedicated to helping those with ADHD, autism, and sensory processing. They are all affiliated with ILS and have seen the power of the Focus Home program, as well as the Safe and Sound protocol. I'm sure you've heard of Dr. Porges and the polyvagal theory, which is what the SSP, the Safe and Sound protocol, is based off of. Today, we will also discuss how SSP and Focus work together to yield long-term benefits. Norman Deutsch is also on the screen. He authored The Brain's Way of Healing, along with Dr. Ned Hallowell, who is the leading expert on ADHD. You saw on the last slide that we were the first to integrate movement with auditory therapies. This is a really important part of our approach with the Focus programs. So the improvements you can expect to see when your children use the home program are the following. And we use multiple components to help them be their best selves. So what does it mean for them to be their best self? It means a focused mind and a calm body, better performance in school and extracurricular interests, increased confidence, and better connection with their friends and family. So just a more well-rounded existence. So we're going to get a bit more detailed in terms of the Focus system, as well as the SSP, and how they work extremely well together for people of all ages. This is the system that you will use at home for the Focus. The three main parts of the Focus system are the following: classical music, bone conduction, and movement. So the classical music engages the brain and is treated specifically to help it pay special attention to any gaps in function. Bone conduction grounds the individual, allowing the body to organize and increase connectedness to the brain. Movement brings all the bodily systems into harmony and ensures that the brain is growing at its most efficient pace. As we've seen so far, the home program can accomplish amazing things for people of many different diagnoses and struggles. I have another video I'd like to share with you all in which you'll hear directly from Dr. Ned Hallowell, who we just saw, and you'll also see an example of what listening sessions might look like when you're using the Focus at home.
By using sound, music, specially filtered music, by stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system to put the child or the adult in control rather than having impulses and distractions control that person.
All right, so repeat this number for me. 4287.
4287.
Repeat this number backwards. 1643.
3416.
I think this is where a program like ILS is particularly useful. That through mechanisms that we don't even fully understand, we've seen that folks who will put in the hours of listening and do the exercises, their talents begin to emerge more quickly, and they flourish and blossom more quickly. I think it's a great breakthrough and really tremendously exciting in the helping these people develop their full potential, which is tremendous.
So we've seen some examples of people using the Focus system at home, but I'd like to cover the physical equipment. So equipment in the next two slides is included when you get the Focus Home program. So here we see the actual system, including the iPod Touch with all 6 programs on it, the bone conduction headphones, the amplifier, which allows you to control volume and bone conduction during listening sessions, and then all of the accessories that provide for ease of use and necessary cords and chargers and all that good stuff. When you order the SSP and the Focus together, the SSP digital application will be preloaded onto the Focus iPod and will be accessed there. This equipment, which is called the integration kit, is also included when you order your Focus. So the integration kit is all of the fun stuff that an individual or a child can use for the movement part of each listening session for the focus. Tools like the balance board, the bean bags, the hanging ball, and the tennis ball all help engage the brain and the body together while the individual is doing their listening sessions. So I did say there are 6 programs on the system. That amounts to 2+ years worth of material. You have access to all of those when you order your Focus Home program as they come together on the iPod. So keep in mind that all of these programs improve brain function overall, but of course they're named according to the things that they really hone in on and engage with. So usually I hear questions on how you might know which program or multiple programs is best for you, best for your child, best for multiple family members. So Sharon is here with me to help give some insight on each of the programs and what they do. So Sharon, we will go through all 6 and give you guys some more comprehensive insight on each of them.
Sure. So the calming program is pretty much just that. It really works on the brain level and the foundation to kind of introduce the whole focus system to the brain and the body. And so I like to use it with most people because I feel strongly that it can really give the whole person a grounding before we advance to other programs. Sensory and motor is again a piece of the calming in a way, especially the beginning portions of it, but it can really help with all motor function features such as gross motor skills, fine motor skills. And that sensory processing disorder piece, I really like to use that sensory and motor program to kind of work on all those extra sensory issues that many people nowadays have. Concentration and attention really is working at trying to help kids and adults both be able to focus on what they're working on. And again, I like to build in other parts of other programs to build into that concentration and attention program itself. Reading and auditory processing is really looking at building the foundation to be able to start implementing those reading pieces that for many kids are missing through education. And so we do see a lot of kids who have dyslexia and or other reading pieces that are missing key components, and this reading and auditory processing is great for them. We see a lot of kids and adults now both with auditory processing issues, and this program helps with that as well as speech. So it's not named about speech, or it doesn't have speech in the title, but this is the program that really is kind of geared towards those who have speech issues. And so I really like to use it for anybody who says their child is, lacking either expressive or receptive speech. And again, just a reminder, I like to build up that foundation first. So a lot of parents want to jump right into that reading and auditory processing, but I like that there's a strong foundation, so we have something to build off of. That way we retain those changes permanently. Optimal Performance 1 and 2 are really just kind of like the icing on the cake for both kids and adults. We used to stay away from having younger kids do those programs, but I have actually been adding them in the past few years and finding that it really does create some really nice changes, kind of keeps kids and adults on the edge of their game. So.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
So moving right into the Safe and Sound protocol. The SSP is a shorter auditory protocol that uses specially filtered music to train the middle ear muscles to focus in on the frequency range of human speech. Kids learn to focus on the frequencies of human speech, the vagus nerve becomes stimulated and the parasympathetic or calm state becomes more accessible for that person. So once an individual's system has been primed, they're more able to readily achieve balance or homeostasis of their nervous system. So with SSP, an individual can achieve the 3 betters that you guys see here: feel, think, and connect. Connect with others, feel safe in their world, and think clearly and logically. So the SSP helps people achieve balance in their nervous system function so they can respond to various challenges in life. So the SSP serves as the best primer for the focus because while focus works with cognition, a struggling nervous system can prevent the brain and body from connecting with one another efficiently. So when we use the SSP and the focus together, we can set individuals up for even greater success with use of the focus programs. And of course, the SSP yields its own amazing results since it's working directly with the nervous system. So as one of our home coaches, Sharon has used the SSP with adults and children alike, and she's added the SSP to individuals' use of the focus at home. So Sharon, can you tell us from your perspective why adding the SSP to use of the focus makes everything a little bit more efficient and really ups the game with any treatment plan for a client?
Sure thing. So when I first started using the SSP like 3 years ago, I really felt like it was at that point, my education on it was a little behind, and I felt like it was making changes in the brain. Really, it truly is making changes in the nervous system, and the nervous system is very much a flowing system. And so to access the brain, we really have to have our nervous system in check. And that is what I see now and have learned that the SSP does. So it gives the brain and the body a chance to kind of do any therapy better that's implemented after that SSP. So the focus is not necessarily directly working on the nervous system at all. And so that's why I like to be able to kind of build that foundation again, to put in the SSP on the nervous system and then build from that with whatever we choose program-wise to do with the focus.
Awesome, yeah. And I hear all the time from the coaches, as well as from families that I'm talking to directly, that doing the SSP makes a huge difference. And then when we follow it up with the focus, we really solidify those SSP results and take them somewhere else that they may not have gone if you had just done the Safe and Sound protocol by itself, for example. So we've covered all the basics with the program so far. To use the home program properly, you would be supported by one of our home coaches. So when you order your SSP and Focus Home Program bundle, I would connect you with the home coach who's best for your family or best for you personally. Each of our home coaches, of course, are licensed therapeutic professionals who have extensive experience using the programs, which again is why Sharon's here with me today. So they'll set you up for success with using the program so you can see those optimal results from home. The SSP is a 5-hour protocol. It's designed to be completed according to the needs of the individual. So your coach will tailor and schedule these listening sessions to your needs. Each focus program takes about 3 months to complete when you do listening sessions about 4 hours a week. And while the SSP focuses on listening and calm, the focus programs use movement with listening. So you're help you utilize physical movement during the listening sessions with the playbook as a guide, which we saw before. So this is how you get started. All you have to do is contact me. I can answer the questions you have, connect you with your home coach who's best, and then process the order for the equipment, of course, and get it on out to you guys. The pricing is definitely here on the slide, and I'll go over that a little bit in greater detail since there are some options to choose from. Hopefully it's not confusing to anybody. I can explain and make it very clear. Sharon and I are going to briefly discuss how coaching works overall. So Sharon, I'd like to just tell everyone, why home coaching is really pivotal, why it's important to have, and go through how it works on a base level as well.
Sure thing. So I'll start basically with how it works. And so from the get-go, Alyssa or somebody at ILS who is working with you will send me an email that you have decided to rent or purchase the programs. And from that point on, I get an email introducing us, and then we start our intake process by me sending you out an email that is either asking questions via, working on an email directly, or we can do that intake over the phone if that is preferred method. So that really starts the beginning of our coaching relationship, and that from then on, we work together to build a program of what will fit best for you as a person or your family. And then I really feel like this is where I'd like to go into kind of why to have a coach. So a lot of people feel like, just give me a manual and let me do it. I really don't, I just want to dig in and get going. And I get that totally, but there are some nuances to the programs, and we really want to make that program as efficient as possible for you. So there are ways to kind of customize those programs with both the SSP and the Focus. And I definitely feel strongly that having a coach gives you the best advantage to do that, and make it more cost efficient as well as time efficient. So when you're making a large investment like this, I think those are the key things that everybody wants, is to kind of have that best investment. And so a coach is able to kind of work you through specifically what is best for you and your family.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sharon.
Mhm.
So I will say the SSP being a part of this, using it with the Focus, it is available through the digital application now, and that's how people are accessing it. So whether you choose to rent to own or buy the Focus system outright, the SSP will be something that you're paying a one-time fee for and accessing through the app. So here we see what that might look like on the application. For example, that screenshot is from the desktop version, but when you have the app preloaded onto your Focus iPod or another mobile device, it'll look a little different, but it will be through the MyUnite dashboard. And Sharon or whatever coach you are working with, they'll give you access through their professional dashboard, and then you'll be able to do the Safe and Sound protocol through the Focus iPod at home, etc. So just to give you guys a brief look at what that might be like.
Can I just stick in a little comment about
Yes,
the SSP versus the Focus? So a lot of my families that I work with end up feeling like, since they're owning the Focus, then possibly the SSP is something that they own as well. And that is not the case. There is a difference between the two. So like Alyssa just mentioned, the SSP is for a one-time use. And so there's differences between, and that just depends on what you want to get out of both together.
Of course, yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Sharon, thank you so much for helping me out today and
No problem.
giving insight on home coaching. I will leave that contact information up just for another minute, guys, while I type an answer, but then we will be off. And again, thanks for joining. Perfect, wonderful. You guys are so welcome. Thank you. All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Fabulous weekend coming up. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.